Good morning, dolls, and welcome to Little Gretchen's workshop. So it's just after the wedding, and the dolls haven't left for their honeymoon yet. And although it's not customary to open the wedding gifts before you leave for the honeymoon, it's very important due to some of the gifts that were received. Now, this particular box came from my dear friend Jolene at Tiny Keyhole Minis. Now, I was instructed not to open this until the doll's wedding was over, so before they leave, I'm going to share what's inside. So this package was left outside the rooming house door, and it didn't have a name as to who it was from. It's a brochure with accommodations for a 1-week stay at the historical Chantilly Carriage House in Savannah, Georgia. It also includes brunch every day for the couple while they're on their honeymoon. And it includes train tickets to get there with a map of the city for them to sightsee. And just look at the quality of the map. You got to see this, dolls. Literally, it's got an actual map on it. Oh, this is just too much, Jolene. You are amazing. You're amazing. I've never done anything like that. Now, I mentioned the train tickets from the letter, but there are actually 2 tickets in the box, dolls. Look at that. This is so perfect for their honeymoon. Thank you, Jolene. Now, in addition to that box from Jolene, I did have a couple other unopened packages. Now, this was from my anonymous doll. She's very kind and supportive, but doesn't want her name to be mentioned. But she always is doing something so kind and sweet. And this day is no different. Look at this. Just a beautiful family album for Marguerite to take with her. Look at the pictures, dolls. They're absolutely exquisite. And look how well and nicely made the book is. It just touches me so much, the time and care you dolls put into these lovely gifts. I mean, this is definitely something Marguerite can cherish for the rest of her life, to hold close all the memories of this wonderful day. And this is definitely something I'll cherish until I wear out. Now, there were a couple other things that she sent in the previous bundle that you may not have seen, so I'm going to just show them to you again because they're specifically for the wedding. So she did send this beautiful tea service, and I will leave a link for the full video in the description. And she sent this lovely resin plate with the raised flower design on it. Really, really beautiful. I absolutely love that. Now, this purple box was one of the other packages that I was advised to not open until after the wedding. And it actually came from my precious friend Lorraine, the one who made the toolbox with all the tools in it for the men. So let's see what's inside here. This is just such a beautiful, oh my goodness. Lorraine. Oh my goodness, it's 2 beautiful silver goblets. But look how beautifully she has it packaged in the black velvet box. Oh wow. This would have been perfect. If I had realized these were in here, I would have opened them before the wedding. I could have used those as a toast at the reception. Now, these 2 packages were from one of my precious dolls named Claire. Now, these 2 boxes, she told me one was for the bride, one was for the groom. So I put little bows on them to put them on the gift table. If you remember from another video, she's the one that gave me a lot of toys for the children of the rooming house. And this is a beautiful box. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely lovely. Oh my goodness, Claire. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Claire. It's a jewelry box filled with jewelry. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely stunning. I've never seen a jewelry box this detailed before. Wow. Thank you, Claire. Marguerite's not going to even know what to say. So let's see what's inside the box for Sadi. I really hate to take the bow off because it was looking so cute, but look at this box and it's cigars inside. And it's so appropriate because all the babies that are going to be born. This is hilarious. This just really tickles me so much to know you dolls are so invested in the story. This is absolutely perfect. So these next packages are from my friend Lana at Panache Luxury. She's got a lovely channel and she always makes such wonderful things, so I'm excited to see what's inside these. So you dolls know I'm going to unwrap the package, but I can't stand to throw away that little flower, so I'm going to need to take that off. I just get so tickled by the added suspense when they wrap the pieces that are inside the box. It truly adds to the suspense. Now, this one is listed for the second bride, so I need to tuck that away till later. So these lovely little items are actually for Marguerite and their perfume bottles. This is perfect. She can take these on her honeymoon. I really like these. Those blue and white beads are just adorable, and the pink one is so cute. So I'm going to put those items with her trousseau. So let's see what's inside here. And here's another beautiful flower you know I'm going to have to keep. It's several other little packages. I love this. Oh, wow, the little cooking utensils. Dolls, look at these tiny little cookie cutters. Oh, my goodness. Ah, these will be so perfect for making cookies for Christmas time. I love this. And then look at these measuring spoons. They are so precious. Okay, I have to take them loose. You got to see them. I mean, come on. Look how adorable those are. Look at that. And they're on the little hoop. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's so perfect. Just what every decent bride needs, measuring spoons. Oh, and then wait, there's more. There's the piped icing tips for doing cakes and desserts. I am done. I'm not sure if they had that in 1904, but it's going in the drawer. Dolls, look how perfect and tiny this is. Oh my goodness. And then, oh my goodness, look at these two beautiful frosted jars. Wow. Panache, thank you so much. These are beautiful. You've thought of everything. This is so original. And then look at this, dolls. Two beautiful brass goblets for the couple. How adorable. And last but not least, the crown of the whole collection, a silver platter. Ah, just in time to prepare for the holidays. Thank you, Panache. Now, I did share this in a previous video, but you just have to see it again because I rewrapped it. And it's from my precious doll, C. Creamer. Now, there is a previous video of when I originally got it, but this is actually from Sadi's great-great Aunt Zelma. And you'll hear more about her later on in the story, but he hasn't seen her since he was a little child, and she sent this to him for the wedding. It's so beautiful and precious and so finely made. I had to show it to you up close. So let me stop oohing and eyeing over all the other gifts and this blanket. Let me fold it up, put it away, and let's get on to the actual reception. It's clearly evident now that all the efforts to make Marguerite and Sadi's wedding day a grand success came together beautifully. The loving couple were finally married. Sadi was so happy that he couldn't stop kissing his wife, and he had to be interrupted by the minister. And although some were a little offended by that, everything still went well. And as the day went on, every chance the young couple got, they were kissing again. As the young couple was released to go to the dining room for the reception area and pictures, the rest of the guests were allowed to come in as well. The beginning of the reception celebration started with the couple's first dance together as man and wife. All the adults were still caught up in the celebration, but the children were ready for cake and all the wonderful food that had been prepared. But they had to wait until the couple had finished their dance. After the first dance had ended and people began to eat and mingle, Marguerite and Sadi continued to dance. They were in the center of the dance floor, surrounded by all their guests and friends. Everyone was going about eating, laughing, talking, and having a good time, but all of their attention was on each other, and they continued to dance. Marguerite and Sadi danced so much until other people started to dance as well. Not only were people dancing in the dining room, but people began to dance in the parlor as well. The spirit of love, joy, and celebration had spread throughout the whole house. Even Claude and Harper had started dancing together. When the younger children saw that, they began to giggle and dance as well. And the little girls took turns pretending to be the bride with Marguerite's bouquet. The dancing and celebration went on and on. It was as though nobody wanted the party to end. They wanted it to go on and on. This big old renovated rooming house had never seen such a celebration. There had never been a wedding in this building, but tonight was a night to remember. There was so much dancing and celebration, even Aunt Evelyn put the baby down and her and Grandpa began to dance. As the music went down, signaling the next phase of the celebration, everyone savored their last moments of the last dance of the evening. This wonderful wedding event will live on in the hearts and minds of the Dollhouse doll community for years to come. This is a true tale of what's always happening among the dolls. When the music went down low enough for everyone to hear each other, the ladies told Marguerite it was time to throw the bouquet. Albert and Sadi's cousin Zaire were laughing and congratulating him for being a married man now. Marguerite was all prepared to throw the bouquet to all the single young women in the house. But there was only one single young woman in the house, and that's Miss Betty. All the rest of the women in the house were married. Miss Betty stood right behind Marguerite so she could be sure to catch it, and Pop stood behind her to lift her to ensure that she caught it. Then everybody began to cheer for Miss Betty and Pop, and then they both ran to the parlor to tell Big Ma and Big Daddy of their plans. When Pop announced out loud that him and Miss Betty would be getting married soon, everyone in the parlor started to cheer too. By now, many of the guests had left, and Marguerite and Sadi already knew that the elders wanted them to open some of their gifts before they left for their honeymoon. Meanwhile, in the hallway, while Miss Maisie was having a brief conversation with Miss Clara, Miss Maisie quietly listened while Miss Clara went on and on about how Sadi didn't look like a doll at all, that he actually looked like he was practically an action figure. Although Sadi's cousin and his wife looked like dolls, Sadi didn't look like porcelain or clay at all. He actually looked as though he was made of plastic. But I'm sure they wouldn't have allowed their daughter to marry an action figure. Everyone knows action figures and dolls don't mix. Miss Clara didn't know that Marva and Sterling were standing nearby, and they heard the whole conversation. Marva was furious, but she didn't want to react while all the guests were there and before the children left for their honeymoon. Sterling remembers the things that they said when him and Marva got married. Over in the parlor, Marguerite and Sadi oohed and ahed over the beautiful gifts that they have received to start their new life as husband and wife. When Marguerite opened this lovely box with a beautiful hand-crocheted blanket, the dolls were in awe because they had never seen anything that beautiful. It was a quite extravagant gift. The card said that it was from Aunt Zelma. Aunt Zelma was Sadi's father's great aunt. At this point, she was very, very old, and Sadi knew she was quite wealthy, but she didn't really communicate with the family that often. Sadi had only seen her a couple times when he was a very young child. He couldn't believe she found out where he was. Just then, they presented him with a box that had been left outside the door of the rooming house. It had actually laid out in the rain for a couple days because no one noticed it. It was addressed to Sadi, but it didn't say who it was from. When Sadi opened it, he realized it was a brochure to the Chantilly Carriage House in Savannah, Georgia. There was a map of the city inside, accommodations for brunch every day during their stay, and 2 train tickets. There was another wooden box, and when they opened it, it was a box full of jewelry for Marguerite. At this point, Sadi was pretty sure all of this had come from Aunt Zelma. While Marguerite opened the rest of the gifts, Sadi sat quietly next to her, holding the brown box. When everything had settled down, Sadi asked Big Daddy and Uncle Barley if he could talk to them privately. He asked them if they had been involved with what was going on with this box. They answered him, no, what's going on with the box? That in addition to everything else that was in the box, under the tissue paper, there was $500 cash. After he said it and thought about the reality of what that meant for him and Marguerite, he had to sit down again. Uncle Barley and Big Daddy told Sadi to get himself together because the train leaves in the morning, and they would make sure him and Marguerite got there on time. Marguerite was so excited and happy. Aunt Charlotte advised Marguerite to make sure she packed a few extra clothes because she's going to be gone a whole doll week. Meanwhile, on the 3rd floor, the children were supposed to be in bed, but they were having their very own after party in Miss Maisie and Mabel's room, which was adjoined to Claude's bedroom. Mabel had snuck downstairs to see the opening of all the gifts when she should have been in bed. The younger children were giggling and laughing about when Claude and Harper were dancing together earlier at the reception. As the younger children laughed and giggled, Claude and Harper didn't think it was that funny anymore. They continued to have a conversation all their own that didn't include the younger kids. It was like after the dance, Claude didn't seem so young to Harper anymore. Claude already had a crush on Harper, but he couldn't get over how good she smelled when he was standing close to her. The little girls began to sing, Claude likes Harper, Harper likes Claude. Although all the little girls thought it was really exciting that Harper and Claude had danced together, the boys weren't amused at all. I can't make out which one, but one of them grumbled, he's talking to a girl and he acts like he likes her. He's making friends with the enemy. All because of a wedding, we need a new hideout and a new leader.